Such an amazing time. And so today I want to go out with a bang by showing you the basics of synthesis and how you can apply those to using the Gen X-1 Stylophone, and then some of the really cool effects that I've discovered. After Vlogtober ends, I'm planning to get back to a weekly schedule, this time beginning on Mondays, so do make sure to tune in then. I also wanted to give you a heads up on the Stylophone Gen X-1 giveaway. That's now going to happen when I reach 200 subscribers. It's my hope that this video will be useful to anyone new to not only the Gen X-1 Stylophone, but to synthesizers in general. If you've never used a synth before, it can be extremely daunting. First thing I want to do is to explain to you what a synth is and what it does. Now, there are many different kinds of synth out there. You've got modular synths, you've got wavetable synths, you've got granular synths, and this particular one is a very special kind of synth because it's a stylophone firstly, but this is called an analog subtractive synth, and the reason that it's called a subtractive synth is that it has one of these, a little filter, to process the waveforms with. So what I'm going to do is talk you through the different sections that we have on the panel over here, and then I'm going to talk you through the buttons that we have on the side and on the bottom. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the envelope. This is the envelope right here. In the envelope you have the attack, the pitch and the decay. Attack controls how long it takes for the note to achieve its full volume. So if we have a short attack, as we do right here, you can hear that the note gets loud very, very quickly. Now if I just adjust that slightly, as you can hear, it takes slightly longer for the note to get to its full volume. Next we have the pitch control. The pitch control is going to control the pitch of the notes by cents, and cents is a value even smaller than semitones, so you can adjust it very, very, very slightly. Can you hear the difference? And next we have the decay. The decay is going to control how long it takes for the note to fade out once you've played it. So at the moment we have a very short decay, so the note ends very quickly. If I adjust it, I'll put that on the long decay now. Can you hear that it takes slightly longer for it to fade out? Next we have the LFO, which is the low frequency oscillator. In the LFO, we have the wave choice, we have a square wave, and we have a triangle wave. We also have the rate and the depth. Usually the aim of a low frequency oscillator is to add tremolo and rubato effects to any of the parameters in the synth. Now the reason we have two different waves is that each wave is going to produce a slightly different sound. So we're going to start with the triangle wave first. Quite simply, the rate is going to control the speed at which the wave moves. So that's how it is at the moment. If we adjust it now to the other maximum, you can hear that it's moving at twice the rate. And the depth simply controls how large the wave gets. So I'll just show you what it sounds like with the depth on minimum, so the wave is at its smallest size. And now I'm slowly going to adjust it so that you can hear how it gets bigger each time. So can you hear the larger peaks and troughs in the sound? So that's essentially expanding the sound of the wave and therefore of your note. I'll just quickly show you what it sounds like on a square wave. Next we have the delay. So obviously at the moment the delay is off, so we're just going to switch that on now. And here we have delay time, feedback, and level. Level controls how loud the entire delay module sounds, so we're going to put that up first of all. Delay time controls how soon the note is repeated after it's played. So firstly, you can hear that it's repeated pretty much after it's first played. Now I'm just going to slowly adjust the knob, and you can hear that the gap between the original note and its repetition is increasingly bigger. And feedback is going to control how much that delay is looped round in the signal and for how long. So firstly we're going to set that at halfway, and then I'm gradually going to turn this feedback knob and you're going to hear that there's increasingly more repetitions between the delay and the feedback. And finally, we arrive at the filter. Here we have the cutoff and the resonance. There are also different kinds of filters. In our case, we have a low pass filter, which means that the cutoff is controlling how many low frequencies pass through the signal. That means that the higher the knob is turned up, the more low frequencies can get through. So if we have it on the maximum right now, you can hear a great deal of the signal. As I turn it down, you can hear that we've lost not only a lot of volume, but also a lot of frequencies, as it's increasingly gone down and down and down to the lower frequencies. I'll just put the cutoff back at 12 o'clock, because without any cutoff, we're essentially not going to hear any notes. Now this is the resonance. The resonance interacts with the cutoff by boosting the gain of the frequencies immediately surrounding it, so it adds this slight brightness to the sound. So at the moment we have the resonance on the minimum. And I'm just going to turn the knob, and you can hear that it gets increasingly brighter. I'll just put the cutoff on max again now for you to see. So now we've done the module, let's move on to the side parameters. So on the side of the Gen X-1 stylophone, which we haven't had in any previous models, we have these three buttons. The X button adds something called pulse width modulation. The only way I know how to describe this is as an extremely interesting effect. So I'll just play you something without it. And now with it. Essentially, it just fattens the sound quite a bit. Now we also have the -1 and the -2. -1 will simply double anything that you're playing down the octave and add it to what you're playing. So it's basically like two stylophone parts playing together an octave apart. And now I bet you've already guessed what -2 does. Yes, -2 doubles what you're playing down by 2 octaves. So this is without it. And this is with it. Adding them all together is even better in some situations. So lastly, we have the pitch, and this is on the back of the stylophone, and it's the same kind of thing that we already had on the S1 model. And unlike the pitch that we have on the envelope, this is controlled by semitones pretty much. The pitch is essentially enabling you to change keys when you need to for certain parts, because the register of the stylophone can be slightly limiting at times, and the pitch enables you to transpose sections of the keyboard if you need to play something that goes beyond the register of the standard pitch. I think it also works really well as an effect in itself. I really hope you enjoyed this video and my entire Vlogtober series. If you've been watching all the way and you did, you're very welcome to hit the thumbs up button. And if you're brand new and haven't subscribed to my channel yet, you can do that by clicking over here. And there should be a last couple of suggested videos for this series popping up right now.